I'm just like you, you're just like me. We can't stop watching these movies. Is it a curse? No, it's a dream come true. Yes, I'm a Barbie girl like you.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for another meeting of the Barbie Council. I'm Brianna,
And I'm Kevin.
and every month we're diving into a new movie from the ever expanding Barbie cinematic universe. While our meetings are available to the general public, the content is not suitable for children. Today we're covering Barbie and the Diamond Castle, my favorite of the Barbie
This one
movies.
is really good. A classic. We're back
It's
to.
so good.
Wait, it's not a classic.
It's a classic in my
A
heart.
classic. Never mind. Yeah, this one is really good. We're back to a lot more music in this one. Um, yeah, it's. I really like the setting. I like the camaraderie between the two mains.
Hmm.
I guess three mains basically. There's three main characters.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
in the mirror, which we'll get to. Um,
Hmm.
Laverna is pseudo back because it's the same voice actor as Laverna.
Yeah,
So
she looks pretty similar too.
yeah, so similar vibes to that. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
there's something about this movie and the atmosphere. I think the music tied with kind of their homey cottage life at the beginning and then like moving
Yes.
forward into these different areas. There's something about it that is really cozy to me.
Yes, very comforting. Love the cottage core vibes. It's so good.
But as we said, this movie is not a classic, at least in the eyes of Mattel and Barbie. This one is categorized as a princess movie. So if you're watching the video version of the podcast, we put cover art for each of the movies that we're covering. And this one, if you can see in the top left corner of the cover art, says princess. I had no idea that this was a thing. This has been, I guess, a rebranding of their DVDs because before it was just the art, which is the ones that we had back in the
Yeah.
day. But now for
When
the
did they
newer
start
ones,
categorizing?
I don't know. I really don't know. They categorize these movies in really weird ways. It's kind of confusing. So this one is a princess movie, which is questionable because they're not really princesses. At the end of the
Not
movie,
until
they get crowned honorary princesses, but I don't know if that has any, bearing on anything, I don't.
yeah, did they have any power? It's unclear.
But what's also confusing is that they have one for like musical. Why wasn't this one? It was music. Why isn't this one music? It has a ton of music.
And the whole plot of the movie is around
Okay,
music,
so
like the power of music and
here's my
song.
question: why is Barbie and the Diamond Castle a princess movie, but Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses is a music movie?
It has princess in the
That one
title.
is
Come
more
on.
princess than the Diamond Castle, which has music.
Make it make sense.
This stuff
It's so
doesn't.
confusing.
Some of it, is fine. Barbie, the Princess and the Pauper, that one is princess. You get
Yeah, that
into
checks out.
it gets a little bit more confusing. You've got fairy and you've got mermaid. So of course Fairytopia and Mermaidia are categorized in two different ways. Of Fairytopia as fairy and Mermaidia as mermaid. But then I would argue that would kind of one confuse things for like parents buying it because they don't think they're part of the same line. Those are all connected movies.
Right, it splits up the
And
series.
two, they're all technically Fairytopia, aren't they?
Yeah,
Like they're all
they
Barbie,
are.
Fairytopia, Mermaidia
Mermaidia.
or whatever.
Yeah. The, the logic is questionable behind these decisions.
I don't understand it. So, and then got another one that makes even less sense. We've got the classic line of movies, and this one will be obvious, right? You just go back to the earlier movies. You got
Yeah.
Swan Lake, you got Rapunzel, you got all of those. Oh, that works. Those would be the classic movies. Barbie in the Nutcracker is not listed as a classic movie.
That
Literally
is the classic
the
of the
original,
classic.
the most
The
classic Barbie
OG.
movie that there is.
How is
And
that not a classic?
so that one isn't a classic, but Barbie Fashion Fairy Tale, which came out in 2010, is a classic movie.
What? I would not consider that a classic. I mean, it is kind of a classic in my heart, but it's not it's not
If
Nutcracker.
if Nutcracker is not a classic movie, how in the world is Fashion Fairy Tale a classic movie? And I feel like Fashion Fairy Tale kind of was part of that early wave of newer movies. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously it's not new now. Unfortunately, 2010 was 14 years ago, so that is a while ago. But there is a definite split between the earlier movies like, even Diamond Castle, but Rapunzel, Swan Lake, 12 Dancing Princesses, all of these ones have an art style that completely changed by the time you got to Fashion Fairy Tale. Why in the world is that one classic?
Maybe they didn't know how else to categorize it because it's not like a fairy one. There's no mermaids on in it.
What about
It's not well
fashion?
enough.
I don't know. Is there
Yeah,
enough movies for fashion?
I feel like there's an element of fashion in all of the movies.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's
Well, there's
confusing.
also they also have a holiday category, so there's a few movies that fall into that one.
Yep. Got, Christmas
Yeah.
Carol and uh no, okay. Nutcracker is not a classic, it is a holiday.
Oh,
I
okay.
would still argue that it's more classic than holiday to me
Yeah,
because it is the
yeah,
most classic movie.
that's true. But I
That's the
could see why they would
that's the
categorize it as
problem
holiday.
with this naming system is that there's so much overlap between all of these movies that you kind of have to make a choice on a lot of them in regards to if it is one or the other. Like
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
Diamond Castle, is it a princess movie or is it a music movie? It's a music movie. They made the incorrect choice,
It
but
is definitely a music movie.
but
They fucked
but
up.
they went with princess.
For some reason,
And then they kind of stopped. Oh, Island Princess is another one. Literally has princess in the title. It's a music one.
hmm.
Again, how
I
is Diamond
mean,
Castle? It just makes me question why Diamond Castle is a princess movie.
I
Like
don't
if
know.
Island Princess had enough music to be categorized as a music movie, how did Diamond Castle not? It's
Who's
literally
making these
about
decisions?
music. They're trying to save the world from losing music.
They need to hire us, the Barbie Council, to recategorize these movies.
They do, honestly. We would do a much better job. We know these movies better than they do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're the experts.
And they seemingly gave up, or in the sense of they don't categorize the newer movies. Like after about
Yeah.
the early to mid 2010s, anything beyond that is just the movie.
Yeah, why would they do that? Because they didn't know how to categorize Spy Squad?
Spy. It's a one of one.
Yeah.
The video game hero one, video game. I
Yeah.
don't know.
What, the space one? Barbie Space.
Space. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll make another movie in that category again. I don't know.
Yeah, you never
There's got to
know.
be a first, in the category, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would also think that like there's a lot of movies with like horses in them, right? There's no horse collection, it seems, or horse
There really should
riding or
be.
something.
Because then you could put Pegasus in that one. You could put
Yeah,
the ponytail one in
ponytail in
that.
there. Yeah, this is it's super weird. Went down this complete rabbit hole, and then it just gets confusing because then you have all of the old DVDs out there, and then you have the new DVDs out there, and then you have the new movies which don't have the branding on it for the different categories.
Yeah, they get tired of categorizing them.
I
You
guess
can't just start and then stop halfway.
I have no idea.
Oh,
It's
also Thumbelina was a classic too. Like, how is that one a classic?
how is that one not fairy?
I
Why is that one a classic?
don't know. I don't get it.
Again, the classic one is hard because the other these other movies would have another category that they could go into. You could honestly argue that Fairytopia is a classic at this point.
Yeah.
But it's not because it goes in fairy, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with classic. And then you have holiday for Rapun or for not for Rapunzel for Nutcracker, which is like, okay, that makes sense. But also, I think it would more go into classic than
Mm-hmm.
holiday.
Yeah, but they have to just choose one. They can't just have classic, holiday,
Because then, I
fairy, the
mean,
same one.
Rapunzel, she's technically the like long lost princess.
Yeah,
She
she
could
is a
be
princess
princess.
and also classic.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's super weird. I don't I don't understand. But they also seem to have not completely understand because they've just given up.
Like it's too much.
They don't care enough to continue along with this naming system. They've just stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, they're done.
Which fine with that. I think it would just get more and more confusing as it goes on. It'd be like harder and harder. Like some of the newer ones where it's just all real world stuff. Is it just Barbie California or Barbie New
Yes, the
York?
Cali collection.
Yeah, like yeah. How like road trip is that in the motorhome collection? The family has a motorhome. I guess it's more in the
Mm-hmm.
like TV series than the movies, but
Yeah, what about when Barbie goes to Paris? We have
it's the France
the Europe
collection or the Europe
collection.
collection. Yeah, do they go to Europe any more times?
You know, I don't think they do.
Again, maybe they'll go back, and then that could be movie number 2 in the Europe collection.
Right, it could open it up for a few more in that collection.
And then they can make those huge 10 movie collections beyond that that have there's a what princess and dogs or something.
Oh, Princesses and
The
Puppies
princesses and puppies,
collection.
which Diamond Castle is a part of because it's got these creepy dogs in it.
It's got both princesses and puppies.
Yeah,
We hate the dogs. They're so bad.
that's wild that there's enough movies that could fit into the princess and puppy collection that they could do a 5 movie collection of
You
that.
know, I'm not surprised. There's so many
Do you
horrible
think
animal sidekicks.
Do you think that if they put Diamond Castle in the music collection that they would not be able to put it in the Princesses and Puppies collection because it is technically a music movie?
Yeah, I think
Is that
you hit
why?
it on the head. You hit the nail on the head. That's why. That's why they made it princess.
Oh my god.
It's for marketing purposes.
Wow. Just so that they can make another DVD collection to sell more discs.
Yep, yep. That's what it all comes down to is just the money.
Man. This is Barbie just gets confusing.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Anyways,
very.
do you wanna get into the actual movie that we're here to talk about today? This one being
I
Diamond Castle.
I would love to. This is my favorite of the Barbie movies. It has a special place in my heart. I've seen it so many times. I probably didn't even need to rewatch it. Um,
I
but
assume you
yes, I
did.
love. I did rewatch it. Don't worry, I'm prepared.
Very worried.
Um, but it opens up with best friends Barbie and Teresa, and they're like hanging out in a room playing music together,
And they're
surrounded
like
by pictures
in their
of
penthouse
themselves.
apartment
Yeah,
in Manhattan or something.
yeah, yeah. And it's one of the. It kind of goes back to the roots of the Barbie movies, where it starts with like one of Barbie's sisters needing advice.
Could say
This time it's
it goes back to the classics.
you could say that. Maybe this one should be a classic.
Maybe.
Anyway, Stacy is having a fight with her friend Courtney. Oh, you mean the
The
backstabber?
backstabber. That is what I meant. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Courtney. I forgot to call your friend by their actual name. The
Yeah,
backstabber.
yeah. Uh huh. And then Barbie and her bestie have to tell Stacy this whole like hour long story to get her to be friends with her backstabbing friend again.
My question is, did they have this story locked and loaded for any time that they would need to talk about it, or were they just like pulling this out of their ass, like just like
Oh, you
slowly
think they were like
creating the story
improving it?
as they were going?
That's impressive.
I think
Man.
it's equally as impressive to remember an hour-long story like this. Just have it ready to go in case you need to like tell it. It's impressive.
Yeah.
Either
I
way, it's
wonder if they
impressive.
like it is. I wonder if they wrote the story together like they were
Maybe
collaborating on a novel.
multi-artistically talented because they're also musicians. That's
Yes.
possible. But then they still remembered it off the top of their head, which is
That
pretty.
I mean that's still impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
And then
with a friend whose name is Backstabber, maybe they were just ready to go. You know?
yeah, they got it. They got it ready. They're prepared. But anyway, we move into the story of Alexa and Liana, best friends who I would argue are more than friends. I see them as the cottagecore lesbians living in domestic bliss at
I mean,
their
they do live
little.
together at the very least.
Yeah, yeah. They are tending to their beautiful garden together, skipping along and singing,
Got a good
like and
setup.
a
They
lot.
just have this huge flower garden. They've got a little shop front, and they just put the flowers in the shop front. People roll by. Did you notice it was Gerard? the
Gerard,
Gerard
he's
is back
back.
for the third or
Yes, my
fourth time because he was
man.
also in 12 Dancing Princesses. He comes back later in the movie too.
That's right. He
Gerard is in this
does.
twice, but Gerard rolls in. He grabs a couple of flowers, drops some money
Hmm.
in their little basket, and then moves along. Like it's a super chill life. Besides the fact that they have no food
Yeah, they're basically starving. Well, they don't have. They do have food. They have jam and bread.
or bread and jam,
Yeah.
either way. But it is a very chill life. A very nice little cottage too.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very comforting to watch them just hanging out at their cute little cottage. At one point, they go. There's a little stream nearby, and they find these little heart-shaped stones in the river. Two of them,
Of
just
course.
perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, and they make them into little necklaces. Fun fact: I have a replica
Oh
of
wow.
one of those necklaces. Yeah, I'm a true
True fan.
fan.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was surprised at how quickly Liana made two of
I
those,
know.
because they found it in the river and like, oh, these are really pretty, and then this storm started to roll in, and so they had to grab all of their stuff, get back into the cottage, and then the necklaces were basically done. It's like, damn,
Wow. Yeah.
how
When
did you
she
have the
have time
time?
to do
They were
that?
trying to like grab the baskets and bring everything in, close all the doors, and it's like, here you go, necklaces
Wow, that's
completed.
true.
Because
I
it was
wasn't.
just like within this
Hmm.
rope, and you had to like tie the rope all around. It wasn't just like threading a rope through like a key holder hole or something like that.
Yeah, it
And
was
she had to get
very
two of them.
intricate. She's
Impressive.
just very skilled.
Yeah. Honestly,
Hmm.
they could do a side business. You have the flowers, and then you have like jewelry or like necklaces or something like that.
Yeah, just make more out of river rocks.
Need more money.
Clearly. Well, and then especially after the storm rolls through, like just decimates their garden.
I'm wondering how long they've been doing this, because I feel like when you're living this lifestyle, this agricultural lifestyle, you kind of have to be prepared for storms to roll through, but they're just screwed because they're over here like,
Yeah.
we've got like 4 coins left, and we don't have enough we couldn't salvage enough flowers to make it through to the next growing season. It's just like, oh my god, like,
We're fucked.
okay. But yeah, it's all completely destroyed. Um, they were only able to salvage a couple of flowers. Um, but it's
Yeah.
okay, because then they start singing and start cleaning things up.
Yeah, it's all good. Um, yeah, they have this like flimsy trellis outside that the storm just like knocks over
Immediately.
immediately.
And it
Like, I
wasn't
don't think there was anything holding it together.
just the wood, I guess. Yeah, it was just the wood, but they didn't actually like put it into the ground. It's just standing on top of the ground. Like, it just falls over.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like a magical storm or something like that the villain sent that was
No.
extremely powerful. It was just a storm. Just a
Mm-hmm.
normal storm in this universe.
Yeah, and it came out of nowhere too. Like it was so nice out, and they were just like vibing and picking flowers, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden,
It's like
storm
1
time.
minute. It's like boom, here it is.
Yep. Yeah, so they're really devastated at the loss of their flowers.
Before they go
Uh,
out, they make the jam and bread or bread and jam. And
Bread and
they just
jam.
paint the jam onto the bread. And it's like, it's supposed to be painted kind of like, I don't know, like wavy almost. But the knife moves down the bread in just a straight line. And so it like paints the jam on the sides where the knife didn't even get to.
You're right. Like I was watching that, I was like, that looks so fucking weird, but I didn't know why.
Yeah.
It just looked
The
wrong.
jam just appeared on the sides of the knife.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, lots of nutrients in there. Bread and jam.
Mm-hmm.
Get
Part
you
of a
through the
balanced
next
breakfast.
25 minutes and then you're hungry again. The hunger comes in so many times in this movie and yet they
Yep.
almost never eat. It
That's
pisses
the
me
thing.
off so
I'm
much.
so mad. Yeah, they're constantly complaining about how fucking hungry they are, and then they get these opportunities to eat, and they don't eat
They
anything.
don't eat anything or they take some for the road and it's just one little morsel of the food and it's like what?
Yeah,
Like come on, you have these baskets. They're literally picnic baskets. Like put the food in there.
put a picnic in there.
I don't. Yeah, they're not the smartest.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just because the animators didn't want to have to animate that.
But it's like
Maybe.
stop making them complain about it. It's your
Yeah,
fault. Like early on, I'm like, man, that sucks. You don't have the money. You know, you're only eating this jam and bread. Okay, that sucks. But you had multiple opportunities to grab whole plates of food. You didn't, and now you're hungry. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I'm not feeling bad for you.
yeah. I'm gonna stop feeling sorry for you.
You just
Did they even eat the jam and bread? No, they didn't. They didn't
no,
eat the
they because
jam
they
and
gave it
bread.
to an old woman. They were
That's
walking
right.
along this path, and there's this old struggling woman. It looks like she's on her last legs, and
Yeah,
she's
she's
got
not
this
doing so
basket
hot.
of treasures, i.e., some like garbage in there, some old metalworks and stuff. And they feel bad,
Yeah.
so they give her their their jam sandwich, and in return, the old lady gives them a choice of any one of her treasures, and Liana's kind of like, oh, I don't want to take these. It's kind of
Uh,
gross. And Alexa's just
you
like,
don't
you
want to
don't want
make
to
her
make her
feel
feel
bad.
bad that all of her stuff is garbage. And so they take a mirror and then bring it back home and clean it up, and this thing is just completely gorgeous. I'm like, wow, that really good at restoring stuff. Multiple business
Yeah.
opportunities here. Whether you want to do the flowers, whether you want to do jewelry, or you want to restore old like metalworks or something. Like you can do all
Right.
that
They got
stuff. Like,
options.
come
Hmm.
on. You just got this super nice mirror, and then when they go out and sing their song, the mirror starts singing back.
Yeah, the mirror is in their little picnic
I'm
basket.
not sure why they took it out with them to
You
just
know,
check themselves out while they're cleaning up the
I
flower
guess.
fields. I don't know.
Sure. But they start singing together, and then they hear a voice, and they automatically think that it's coming from the picnic basket. Like, why would you think that?
Yeah, they are
Why
pretty
would that
quick
be
on
your
the beat there.
go-to?
Like they don't think that
They're
there's
just
like someone in
immediately
the
like,
forest or like walking along the path nearby. It's like, oh,
yeah,
it's got to be in the basket.
yeah. There's got to be a whole ass person in there singing. Like why? Yeah, why wouldn't you just think it's somebody
It's
walking
Gerard,
by?
you know?
It's Gerard.
It's Gerard
Yeah,
walking by. Get
yeah.
some
I
more
don't know why that
flowers.
was the first thing they thought to check.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
that
that
is
makes
weird.
sense.
I didn't think about it too much at the time. I'm so used to these the people in these worlds knowing all these magical properties. But there's really not a
Yeah, because
whole
at
lot
this
of magic within this world that is not tied to these like several people who are kind of running this magical music castle, the Diamond
yes,
Castle.
the Diamond
Everybody
Castle.
else is pretty normal. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't
at this
think that
point,
that is like
there's
a
no
normal
magic.
thing. You're like, oh yeah, there's a person in the mirror. Okay.
You know.
A very
But
good
yeah.
song though. I do not blame Melody, the girl in the mirror, for singing along. Connected
Oh yeah.
is a great song.
I was singing along. So good. The songs in this movie are incredible.
They're
I
really
love them
good,
so
and
much.
they're all just about, like friendship and sticking together and stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's really nice.
Maybe more than friendship.
Yes, more than friendship. Even if the movie tries to push them into a relationship with a couple of a couple of douchebags.
Yeah, yeah, God. I'm so glad. Well, spoiler alert, they don't get together in the end. Or like if they do, they're not
It's
living together,
yeah. It's a very
which is
light
refreshing.
implication, or that something could happen, up to the viewer's discretion at the
Yeah.
end of the movie. So we can choose
Hmm.
the other way.
Yeah. And I choose
No. I
I
would
I
also
say no.
choose no. Even if they just wanted to stay friends and they were looking for somebody else, I would still say no to those two dudes because
Yeah,
they're
they're
awful.
assholes.
They're awful.
Yeah, I hate them.
Back to the girl in the mirror. Her name is Melody, and she was part of the Diamond Castle, and she was an apprentice to the three muses of music, and of course, one of those muses turned evil. And it's always so funny when you see all of these people, and one of them is just so obviously the villain. And this is when we
Yeah.
get the like Barbie evil swamp green color that happens
That's
so
who you know.
often. Yeah, so it's Lydia. Lydia is the evil villain in this, voiced by um, our same villain friend over and over again. But that's fine. It's kind of like deja vu all over again.
Yeah, she does a good job.
But when they're all playing together at the Diamond Castle, and you have the other two muses that are in just like the normal Barbie,
Hmm.
like dresses and outfits, and then you just have Lydia, and you just look at her and it's like, yeah, she's evil, 100%
It's like
evil.
I wonder which one of these is the villain.
And now I don't know if this was something she was stewing on for a while, but the way that the movie shows it, it's like she just turned on a dime. She goes from playing the music to with everybody to being like, "Fuck you, music is just for me. I'm gonna take over. Bye," and then just
Yeah,
leaves.
it was kind of out of nowhere. She's just like, I can't take it anymore.
It's like, okay, take what? You just want to be able to play music yourself? Okay, cool.
No, just for me. Does
Yeah,
that mean like nobody else can ever sing or play music? It's just her?
that's the implication, I think.
That's wild.
Because when they're talking about it, it's just like, oh, the world will be nothing but darkness and sorrow, which is also extremely vague. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, is she gonna get rid of the sun and then? But the implication is
For,
also that we lose music,
yeah,
and
which
Lydia
is
also has the power to hypnotize anybody. So I
and
guess,
turn them to stone.
and turn them to stone. Back to the petrification again.
Yeah.
Petrification is like constant in these Barbie movies. This is what, the third or fourth time? Because you
Yeah,
have
it's
Nutcracker, and then you have
Pegasus.
Magic of Pegasus.
Hmm.
You have this one.
I feel like there were more.
Yeah, I also feel like there were more, but not off the top of my head.
Hmm.
She doesn't use it very often, though. Because she
No, just for the
petrifies the other two
muses.
muses.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, why would you petrify people when you can just force them to do your bidding? That seems way more
Yeah.
useful. Couldn't.
That's why she uses the hypnotism more.
Yeah. So Melody, she has the key to bringing back the Diamond Castle. They hid the Diamond Castle away so Lydia could not take it and take over. So that means that Melody literally is the only one that knows the key. The other two muses do not know. Which is like, why
Wait,
would you?
No, didn't the muses give her the key?
But then why wouldn't Lydia just hypnotize them and then
Oh,
ask them what the key is? Which means that they entrusted the key to their apprentice. Either that or Lydia's incredibly stupid. I don't
or
know.
why didn't they give Lydia the key? I mean, like, wouldn't all three of the muses know
No, the
what that
key.
is?
Well, I guess no. I think they made the castle disappear and created the key after Lydia
Ah,
left. So I think that's why that
I
Lydia doesn't know. But then
that
that
makes sense.
means that they entrusted Melody, their apprentice, to create the key to hide the Diamond Castle, which is a lot of pressure to put onto your apprentice,
Yeah, yeah,
who
that's a
didn't even
lot.
have like a real instrument. It was like a training instrument, it seemed. Her flute or
Right.
whatever.
And Melody doesn't know what the key is. Or does she?
No, Melody knows the key. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Because
okay. It's just
she
later
knows
the
that
other two
Lydia's
know.
after her because she has the key. That's why she had to protect herself.
Yes.
And so when Lydia was going after her, she put herself in the mirror to try and hide away. And then she dropped her instrument so she couldn't get out. And then Slider,
Fucking
Lydia's
Slider.
dragon sidekick, crushed it. Slider is something else.
Yeah.
His
Yeah, they call him a
weird
serpent.
his weird throbbing
Oh,
like
I
horn on
hate
the
it.
top
His
of his
horn. I
head.
hate it so much. It makes these weird noises. It's
So
like,
he uses the horn to hear when Melody is singing, and so he can like triangulate where where Melody is from it, and it's just like glowing. You can hear Melody singing through it, and it like throbs. And there's some times where it seems like he derives pleasure from it. He's
ugh,
like,
I
oh,
don't like
I
that.
hear her. It's getting close, and it's like, ugh,
Ugh.
like it's
Oh,
gross. Even when it's not throbbing or anything like that, it's still kind of nasty.
yeah, it just kind of like wiggles a little bit. And ugh, yeah, it's gross. And why does he just have like a built-in homing beacon for her?
I never thought of that. I don't know why. Why is it only for Melody? Did Lydia put that on him? Does Lydia have that power? Honestly, Lydia has like we don't know the limits of her power, honestly. Because, she can petrify people. She turned her instrument into this instrument of evil and she can play it and stuff happens. But like, she can petrify people, she can hypnotize people. There's a moment later on where she turns a pond into
A
like a
whirlpool.
whirlpool. Where does it stop?
Yeah, I feel like she can also explode people.
Yeah. Like yeah, where does the power stop? It feels like it's never ending. Like she can just conjure up whatever, you
Yeah,
know.
it's whatever she wants it to do is what it will do, which is pretty OP.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where the line is drawn.
Yeah, so Slider the serpent goes to find he tracks down Melody's singing and finds well they see Slider and they run into the cottage. Liana is very smart and
Yeah,
tricks
very smart.
Slider. I would not have thought to do this, I don't think.
Very clutch that they had another mirror hanging around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. The cottage is pretty sparse, so
Yeah, they don't have a
it's
lot of
good they
money
had
to
that.
to get a lot of stuff in there.
They
So
got jam, they got bread, they got a mirror.
they got
That's
two
all you
mirrors
need.
now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so she grabs a
Um,
mirror and they go down into the basement and she kind of just puts the mirror down to make it look like they just left it behind so that Slider would leave them alone. And Slider takes the bait, but not before he burns down their entire house in the process. When he like rolls into the house and he's like, come out,
uh,
wherever you are," and then like rolls
uh,
around and just knocks everything over immediately,
God, he just fucks everything
and
up.
then proceeds to knock a chair over into the fireplace, and then that lights on fire, and whole house goes up in flames.
Yep.
And so now they've lost basically everything. They've lost
Yeah.
their way of making money with the flowers. They've lost their entire house. At this point, they're honestly forced to go on this quest, even though they're like, oh, we should do this for the sake of the world. Like, what else are you gonna do? You have no money. Like, how are you?
Yeah.
How would you rebuild this?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? So they decide to go on the quest. Good choice. Oh, and then Melody tells them about kind of the lore of the Diamond Castle. And I thought this was wild. Apparently, every time a new song is sung, a diamond appears on the wall of the castle.
Yeah,
Like, there must be so many diamonds.
infinite amount of diamonds. And how does the Diamond Castle determine what is a song worthy of a diamond?
Well, it's just
Because
every new song.
right, but like someone could just be singing a little ditty to themselves or like a 10 or
Hmm.
15-second little, I don't know, something that kind of toes the line between a rhyme and like a little song or something. Like at what point does the Diamond Castle determine, okay, this is a song?
This is music.
Yeah. Does it is it sentient enough to know that?
That's a great question too. I did not think about that.
Even beyond that, yeah, there has to be a millions of diamonds
Yeah, this
on this
castle's just
castle.
crawling with diamonds.
Honestly, I think the muses just created this so that they could have an endless supply of diamonds.
Ah, I
Just a
see.
lot of
Again,
money
it's all
rolling
about
in.
the money.
Yeah. Well, you gotta find a place to put the diamonds at some point. The castle's gonna run out of space.
Yeah. Mhm. Oh, and we find out that the little heart stones that they found in the river came from the Diamond Castle.
Yes. And they also have the power to protect them against Lydia's evil musical instruments, so they cannot be hypnotized or turned to stone or anything. So the first stop on their quest is to go to the Valley of Flowers, and this is where we meet the puppies from the Princesses and Puppies collection of 5 Barbie movies on sale now at all of your local retailers. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
they're a little
Before we
gross.
get to the puppies, I gotta say, at one point, Liana's like, "I smell roses." I mean, I'm not an expert on flowers, but those were definitely not roses
Weren't
in
they
the
like
Valley of
lavender?
Flowers. There was lavender.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, there's
I
no
guess
roses
there
here.
could be other flowers in there, but the way that it looked, the lavender smell should be overpowering.
It's all lavender.
She smells roses. Maybe she's so hungry that her brain is just like starting to implode a little
She's
bit.
right, she's delirious. All right, back to the puppies, these monstrosities.
Yeah. These gross puppies. So there's 2 of them, of course, because there has to be one for both Liana and Alexa.
Yeah.
So Liana names her dog Sparkles. Sparkles the
Sparkles.
dog. This
Uh-huh.
dog's eyes are massive, and I don't like it. I hate
You
this dog
don't?
more. I hate Sparkles more. Um,
Really? I kind of hate Lily more, the other dog.
Sparkles' eyes just creep me out. They're just
They
huge.
are
I mean, I don't
creepy.
like either of
Yeah.
them. But yeah, we also have Lily because of the flower. Not
Okay.
not for any specific reason. Like there, it's not like the flower was there. Like, oh, we found you next to a lily. It's just
No, because
because
there's no lilies
there
here.
is a flower called a lily. So
Yeah, I guess like the dog is white like a lily. Mhm.
yeah, these dogs are
Yeah.
already kind of gross. They're not like the grossest sidekicks, the side animals that we've ever seen. It's when they
Right.
dance where it gets really nasty. It's a couple of different times where they're dancing. One, they go into a village later and they have to play some music to earn their keep so they can get this meal that they don't eat, which we'll get to in a second. But the dogs start dancing to the music, and every time with Barbie animal sidekicks, when they're moving, like walking like humans or dancing, there's something about how like their joints are, like everything about the way they move is just gross.
It ain't natural.
I don't fully know how to describe it, but obviously the dogs aren't shouldn't be dancing as normal dogs,
They
but they
shouldn't.
do, and that's already enough to make it really off-putting.
And they dance so many times. Like why? Why are they dancing so much? Make it stop.
They do dance a lot. But remember, this is not a music film. This is a princess movie.
Yeah,
It's not music.
Princess and Puppy.
So yeah, they go into this town and they're starving. They need this food, and they smell the chicken from this restaurant. And the guy comes out, and he's just like, I hired this band, and they haven't shown up yet. And people are fucking throwing food in there, getting super
Oh,
rowdy.
they're losing their shit in there.
And so Alexa and Leon are just like, all right, well, we'll do it. Like for a meal,
Yeah, what a
for
coincidence.
2 meals, and 2 doggy bags.
For hideous
Spoilers,
dogs.
they don't take the doggy bags, nor do they take 90% of the food that they got or even eat it.
Yeah, they just put what, like 2 wings in their basket?
Yeah, so they get this plate of food afterwards, and it's like mashed potatoes, there's some like veggies, maybe like some green beans in there. You've got the chicken, and to be fair, I get why they left. These 2 twin dudes, the dudes come in, and then they just start basically like just creeping on them.
Oh yeah, hitting on them. It's bad.
One of the dudes goes, one girl fair and pretty and one a dark beauty, and it's just like,
Ew, ew.
really gross.
Take it back.
Nasty.
Don't. Also, when they come in and see them playing,
Oh yeah,
they're like, not bad for girls. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's super gross.
There's so many red flags with these guys.
And then there are other women at the restaurant who are, like dumping water on them, or just really
throwing
pissed
mashed
off
potatoes.
at them because they like stood them up, or one of them was like, you left without saying goodbye. So these dudes just like date whatever moves.
Yeah, basically. And we, audience, are supposed to be like charmed by them and be like, oh, they're so funny.
Melody, like when they leave, Liana and Alexa are like talking about it. It's like, ooh, I don't know about those guys. And then Melody was like, I don't know, I think they were pretty cute. And it's like, wow, Melody, you have like no standards, negative standards for dudes.
Yeah, maybe she was in the mirror. She wasn't actually like there, so maybe she didn't see their assholery up close.
But you could have heard it from the way they talked.
Like
the only way I could have seen is like, oh, I thought they were kind of cute, is if you just saw them exist in the space and you thought they were physically attractive, but then did not see them do anything.
Yeah, because as soon as you hear them, like, what's up. These guys are the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're twins,
also,
so they're just the same dude twice.
Yeah, I got them mixed up. Their names are Jeremy and Ian, and I could not keep them straight. I don't know who's who.
They're the same dude. They're both.
They're
both just dickheads. Like.
Yeah.
I don't blame Alexa and Liana for wanting to leave the restaurant without eating their food.
Yeah.
But it was just like, man, for me, I would have just been like, if I'm gonna take anything, I guess the chicken wing or chicken leg or whatever is good. I'll put that in there. I'll just like shove a bunch of food in my mouth because there's still all these mashed potatoes and green beans and stuff on my plate, and then fuck off. But they literally they start talking to the twins, and then they're just like, okay, time to go, and then they just put the wing in their bag, and then they just leave.
Do you think they saw the twins and they just lost their appetite? They're like, you're so disgusting. I can't even think about food.
Maybe they just didn't think far enough in advance to be like, wait a minute, we're gonna get hungry again. We were just complaining about being starving. We proceed to not eat anything. Because, we never see them eat the wing either.
No. We never see them eat.
We also don't know if they feed the dogs. The dogs seem to just survive on nothing. All these people seem to survive on nothing.
Yeah, they live off of the power music, I guess.
Yeah, they just leave all this food.
But yeah, and the guys are like serenading them. And they're singing to them. They said the thing about one fair and one dark and a beauty or whatever. And then they also go, one wearing orange. Nobody's wearing orange.
Yeah.
Nobody.
A weird call forward to the end of the movie when they get of course they get the obligatory sparkly glow up, and then one of them gets an orange
Liana's
dress.
wearing orange.
But no one's wearing orange before that.
They had a premonition. They knew. They
had a premonition.
But that really bothered me for some
It's
reason.
like
I'm
you
just
guys are
like,
also like blind. Like you said like what? And then you pick the one word that doesn't rhyme with anything knowingly, and then you talk about it. But you
yeah,
choose it
my
even though no one is wearing it.
it's so that they can be silly and
Yeah.
cheeky. But my theory is also that they reuse this song on all the ladies. So that's
Okay.
why they don't change the lyrics.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that's probably true. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, how many times have they pulled this one out?
Well, at least two other times because there's two other ladies in that, or in that restaurant that were pissed off at him.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I want to pour a thing of water over his head too. Throw some mashed potatoes at him.
They try and escape these dudes, and
They can't get
they
away.
don't because they just follow them.
Yeah, they're such stalkers too. It's so gross.
I'm surprised they were able to like figure out where they went.
Yeah, how'd they track them?
I
They have
smell.
their
I
ways.
smell roses. I know where I'm going.
Maybe they smelled the chicken.
Maybe. And they're like, there's no mashed potatoes. It's just the chicken smell. They left the rest of
Yep.
their food.
Mm-hmm.
And so they end up at this troll crossing where there's an invisible bridge, and the two dudes had already tried to cross. Unsure why they needed to cross it beforehand, but they tried to
Just
cross
for
and they failed the riddle. The riddle being, what instrument can you hear but can't see and can't touch?
that's a head
Doozy.
scratcher.
So this troll just
Hmm.
wants to eat them, just straight up, just eat these two dudes, and I'm kind of over here like, yeah, all right.
Please, that's fine.
Like,
Go
I
for
don't want
it.
to watch it, but you can do it. Like,
I'm fine watching. I'll watch it.
wow, you're a step above me. Wow, you want to see them suffer? Jeez,
Oh yeah,
I don't really
I'm
want to
here
see
for
people
it.
get eaten alive, but I'm fine if they're not in the rest of this movie.
I mean, I guess that's not what you watch Barbie movies
Not
for.
generally,
But
no. But we've got the two big brains over here, Liana and Alexa, and they know voice. Boom, got it.
yeah, well, I think Liana's the only one who gets it.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah, and then the troll's just like, "Oh, I can't believe you got it." Like, how has nobody figured that out before?
yeah, I
Like,
got it pretty quickly.
it's not that hard, guys.
Yeah, and he did say that no one had gotten it before.
Oh yeah, he was like, "It can't be done. It's not
It's
possible."
like, no, it can be, dude.
Really? All
I
right.
think it can be. And
Yeah, I
luckily,
mean, I'm
this
not.
this rainbow bridge that they get on, they step on it, and it immediately starts disappearing again, and so they
Mhm.
can leave the two dudes. Unfortunately, they
Thank
tell them to
God.
meet them at these rocks that they're going to, but it's like you could have just not done that.
Yeah, yeah.
Just left them
But yeah, no
behind.
boys allowed on the Rainbow
Nope,
Bridge.
can't have them here. Not
Oh,
at
and the
all.
troll just evaporates. He's just
I,
gone.
I, I don't know what happened there. Is that the payment that he has to pay for being able to be a troll and give people riddles?
Uh, yeah. If somebody like guesses the riddle right, he dies. Is that
Well, good thing
that
he picked
seems
just
like a
an
lot?
incredibly hard riddle that no one will ever solve.
But no, yeah, it can't be done. Also, did you know that the troll has a name?
Is it Gerard?
It is not Gerard.
Okay.
Sorry.
I did not know that he had a name, honestly.
I only found this out in the outtakes. Uh,
Oh,
his name is Wilhelm.
like King Wilhelm?
Yeah, it's King Wilhelm reincarnated as a troll.
Okay.
Now you know.
Wow, okay. Wilhelm.
They really had to give him a
So
name.
they don't just reuse skins of people, they use names too.
Yeah, I've noticed them reusing certain names.
Hmm.
Of course, I'm blanking on them now, but it
Well,
happens.
there's so
Oh, well, they
many
also
to choose from.
they they reused Nalu in the village in the little restaurant
Oh, yeah, they
scene.
did.
They put him in there like 4 or 5 times at least.
Was he the dude getting choked out by the other guy in
Oh
the
yeah,
back?
Yeah, yeah. So there's just like a dude choking some other guy in the back. Oh, and then later, after Liana and Alexa start playing music, they're chill and they like fist bump each other.
Yeah. It's like, wow, that's all it takes.
Yeah, the power of song.
Just he is bloodlust for a little bit there.
Yeah, he was
I want to
losing
kill
his
this guy.
mind. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I was about to witness a murder.
We move along to this huge manor that they end up at, and it's Gerard again.
He's back.
Gerard and his wife, I guess, but
Well, I
they
think
have.
they're just servants.
Oh, are
I
they
don't
just
know.
servants?
I don't know
Well,
if they're
they're
married. They might
hypnotized at the
be.
very least into being servants because they've got the green
Oh.
sheen over their eyes. And before they go into the house, Liana and Alexa are once again complaining about how hungry they are. It's like you had a whole meal in front of you, you didn't eat it. I don't even know if you ate the chicken.
Yeah.
Like
They
you
probably just left
can't
it and left it
complain.
go bad in the basket.
So they go into this house and there's this huge spread of food. They also do not show them eating this food. I hope that they
Oh,
ate some of it before they went up to the room, but we don't
no.
know.
They feed the dogs like 2 cubes of cheese,
Yeah.
and that's it. They don't touch the rest of it. I'm so mad.
And
Y'all are hungry. Eat the
the
food.
dogs ate it and the dogs were fine. So I don't think that there was any like hypnosis stuff. Can can Lydia put hypnosis music on the food?
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
So I think
Yeah,
they
the
were
food
fine.
wasn't There's no poison in this movie. That's a first.
But they had to do petrification. They had to do one or the other.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Neither of them actually see through this whole thing and like realize
No.
that this is like really really weird and probably
They're
not
like, "Oh
true.
yeah, this checks out.
But
Makes
the
sense."
only reason that Liana is like we got to go is because we have to finish this quest. And then Alexa's just like, "No, I want to stay here." There's like
Yeah, I
food and
mean,
stuff and we finally have like a nice place and no wants for anything.
but why couldn't they just be like, "Yeah, we'll
We'll come
go on
back.
the rest of the quest and then come back." Because I mean, I would kind of want to stay too. It's a
Yeah, and
pretty
if you
sweet
believe that this was the
deal.
prophecy, then you would assume that they would allow you to go and finish this journey.
Yeah, so just tell Gerard like, "All right, cool. Hang out here. I'll be back. Don't worry about it. Just got to
I
go
guess
finish something first."
Alexa was talking about how she wasn't even sure if they were going to come back alive. I think Liana did say something along the lines of, we can come here when we come back.
Ah,
And then Alexa was basically like, if we come back.
oh,
It's like
yeah. I
we're
mean, it
gonna
does get
die
pretty
out there,
dangerous.
which is
She almost
true.
dies.
But Liana decides to leave. Their friendship kind of explodes for a little bit. She leaves, and
Yeah.
then of course Slider is there immediately after Liana leaves, and Alexa ends up
What?
at Lydia's lair, and she gets
It was a
hypnotized
trap?
there. Yeah, wow, crazy.
No
Who
way.
freaking knew? And then almost immediately, like Liana goes to the stones by herself, and then she also gets kidnapped.
She gets scooped up
Yeah,
by
really
Slider
quickly. It was just
again.
like an immediate, just whoosh, like whooshed in there. It just swooshed right in
Yeah.
and grabbed her. But it was like, I mean, I guess they needed that for the friendship to blow up for a little bit so that they can get back together again. But it was like, wow, even though she didn't stay behind, she also got like immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. Like just like a minute later. Yeah. So now we're in Lydia's lair. And Liana's tied up and Alexa is hypnotized because oh yeah, because Alexa, in her anger at her bestie, takes off her magical necklace and throws it away.
Don't need that anymore. Don't
So,
need my friendship
uh,
necklace anymore. We're not
yeah,
friends.
the
Yeah,
backstabber.
it is the backstabber right here.
Yeah. So Lydia can hypnotize her now. She is no longer immune to the powers.
Yeah, and in order to get Melody to give up to give herself up, basically, she basically makes Alexa try to commit suicide. Like,
Yeah, she has her like almost walk off a cliff
it's
into like
crazy.
a
Into like a
sea of acid.
acid lava something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course we get the moment where they believe the main villain. Like, oh yeah, we'll go, I'll give you the key, and then we'll come back and you'll, release my friends, right? It's like, oh, of course,
Yeah.
I'll do that. And then as
Sure.
soon as she leaves, Slider just tries to kill Alexa and just like knocks her off the
And
edge.
Liana
Liana
too.
too. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, he just
knocks them both
yeah.
off. But then
But
Liana's got mega strength and is holding on to both Alexa and this like root that is coming out of the wall.
yeah, and then like how did she okay. Yeah, they're just hanging and then in the next scene with them, they're safe and they're like on another log. They're just sitting on
On a
a
completely
big
different
log.
log than the one that they were
How
holding on
did
to.
that happen? Alexa is dead weight. How is Liana like carrying her
Yeah, because
over?
she's still hypnotized at this point. Later on, they have the dog who has the necklace. And one, this is a wild move to have the dog like throw the necklace off the cliff, possibly going to the acid lava if it misses, and then it's like, oh, thank God, it just hit, like it threw it directly to the spot.
Yeah, right into her hands. Thank
Although
God.
she was able to put the necklace on, and that repelled the magic, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't she have
Yeah.
just taken her own necklace off, put it
Bruh.
on, put it on Alexa, removed the curse, and then put it back on herself? Is
You
that is
know,
that possible, or is this
I
like, is this contagious? I
no,
don't think it
I think
is.
I think that would have worked.
No,
You're just smarter
yeah,
than Liana.
because if it was contagious, then the stuff from Gerard would have gotten to them, but it didn't.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. She
But
would
no,
have
we
been
had to have the
fine.
dog throw it
Yeah, the
over
dog
this
has to be a
vat of
part of the
lava because we
story.
need that. They needed that second necklace later on, but they were fine with just
Yeah,
tossing
that's
it.
true.
Big risk.
Yeah, but she
But yeah,
could have totally just taken hers off and put it. Oh my god, I never thought about that.
can't do
Wow.
that. I can't possibly take
No.
off my friendship necklace.
No.
There's no way.
I would only take that off if I was ending my
Yeah, with the
friendship.
backstabber.
Yeah.
But yeah, before that, when she pulls Alexa up onto, even I don't even know how they got to this other like route, because the one that they were hanging on to didn't seem like it was connected to anything. So it almost feels like
No, it
they had to
wasn't.
jump to a different one, but she was still hypnotized. So she was still
Oh, do you think
dead
she just
weight.
like swung her and like threw her
Or
onto
or
the
maybe they climbed up
thing?
onto the root and then she just like tossed Alexa over to the other root from the
Yeah,
first route. Like,
maybe.
maybe she's just really
They
strong. I don't know.
clearly
Maybe
she
she's just
is.
yoked. She's just beefed over here. Like,
Yeah, all that tending to the garden,
yeah,
really a really good workout.
yeah. The outfits hide a lot of muscle. I think
Yeah, yeah.
there's a lot going on
She's
there.
just swole.
So they have to go to where the Diamond Castle is. Did they know where the Diamond Castle was?
I think they knew it was at the Seven Stones.
They knew it was past the Seven Stones because it's the Seven Stones that led into the area with the Diamond Castle. Because they didn't actually go into that before, like
I
before
don't know.
Liana got nabbed by Slider.
Yeah, I think they were heading to the Seven
Okay,
Stones.
yeah. So I guess they knew enough because they were able to find where Melody and Lydia are, and Melody is just joshing her this whole time, just like
Oh
messing with her,
yeah.
like, oh, you gotta put these diamonds into this rock that has this engraving of a diamond, which is honestly a pretty good ploy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like,
She's just stalling, making up some
logical.
bullshit.
And then you have one of the dudes playing music out in the forest so that Slider leaves.
Yeah, they're trying to
Right.
distract Slider and they have a whole fight with him and at one point the one of the guys hits him with his guitar and his horn makes this horrible
Reverb
sound.
sound.
Like
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's
Like
really gross
why?
when he hits him on the antenna. It's like, ugh, I don't even know what you're hitting. Like, what
Ugh.
part of the body is that for him? Like,
It's like all wiggly and like
His antenna's
I don't like
gross.
it.
Do not like
Not
it.
a fan.
But he ends up KOing himself on a tree. He gets like grabbed by like one of the guitar strings, but then he's gonna like try and whip them over, but then slams into a tree.
Mm-hmm.
So we get rid of Slider, and then this is
Nice.
where Lydia makes this whirlpool in this tiny pond, and I'm just like,
Yeah, because she can do that,
yeah,
apparently.
where is the limit on this power? She can make
There's no limit.
anything. Couldn't she just like kill them? No, I guess they have the stones, so all of her magic is useless. But I feel like if her power is limitless, there's more that they could do than that. Don't really know. But she tosses the mirror into the little pool.
Yeah.
And so you have to get the dogs to go in and try and save it. And it's like, well, if the dogs drown, the dogs drown.
Yeah, this was so wild to me. Like Sparkles is like swimming against the current with the mirror, and then Alexa's just kind of like sitting there watching it struggle.
Yeah, because it starts going like forward, like making progress, and then you see the whirlpool start to take it away. It's like, oh, it's dying right here.
Like, oh no. Maybe she wanted them to die. Because then the other dog jumps in too.
Yeah.
And maybe
they
she's
were
just
sick
kind
of the dogs.
Like, yeah, like, oh, sorry.
I don't blame them for that.
And then I was thinking, well, like maybe she can't swim. That's why she's not getting into the whirlpool. But then later you see how shallow it is. She could have just waded in.
Yeah, because
and gotten it.
They end up getting Lydia's instrument and throwing it into the whirlpool. And so Lydia goes in there to rescue her instrument. And she is just kind of wading in there, although she grabs her instrument and then is unable to get out. So I think that even if you're able to wade in, you might not be able to get out. And then this is another part that confused me here. So she's in the whirlpool, right? Lydia is. Yeah. And she kind of just explodes in there.
Yeah.
So she explodes, and it's like, oh, she's dead. Like, yay.
Well, her music, her flute backfires because it got water damage.
But then she comes back. So what happened to her? What was the explosion? Did she just, like, get moved, like, a mile down the road or something? I don't know what happened to her because, the Diamond Castle reappears, all this stuff, and then she comes back and then also gets, like, immediately destroyed again. So it's like, why did you even bring her back if you were just going to defeat her again in literally 30 seconds?
It's like, oh, you thought she was gone.
And it's like, oh,
surprise.
No, she is gone.
Yeah.
I just want to know what happened to her in the whirlpool because it looked like she exploded.
Me too. Yeah, it looked like she just evaporated, was gone, but apparently not. Yeah, maybe it teleported her somewhere, but why?
Yeah.
Was she able to magic get her instrument to
work again and then teleported herself? But her instrument wasn't working earlier.
Yeah. I don't know.
Unknown. But we think she's gone for a bit, and Melody breaks her mirror, right? So that no one can get the castle. And it's like, oh, technically safe, but I sacrificed myself. And so it falls on Liana and Alexa to sing the song. Did they ever learn the whole song? Because they were singing only the chorus. At the beginning of the movie, when they're asking Melody, like, oh, what music do you like? What do you want to sing? Or something like that. And she teaches them the chorus of this song. And then they come out here and sing the whole song, chorus and the other stuff, completely perfectly. When did they learn that?
I mean, maybe it was off screen, but like we definitely did not see them
for something as important as this. You'd think it would be something just off screen, but and they sing it perfectly. They know all of the lyrics.
Well, they have it memorized. Yeah. They got it on lock.
Yeah,
it is. They got mad skills.
Maybe they were just singing it the whole time that they were off screen.
I mean, they were walking a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there wasn't much to do other than just sing.
It's weird that we didn't see it because that's the first time we hear the whole song.
Mm-hmm. And the song is the key to unlock the Diamond Castle. So magical. It like rises up from the water It's
in this
very
little pond.
deserted.
Yeah, it's just kind of off on its own in this little valley, but it's
Hmm.
huge. It takes up like the whole valley. And then when
Yeah.
it comes up, there's like a little bridge that they have to cross to get to the castle, and this is where they get their makeovers, and we finally get the
Woo!
orange dress, and we sparkle everything up, and it's like, okay, that's normal Barbie stuff. And then the dogs walk through it, and then they have their whole transformation, and they just get a little more sparkly, and that's it.
Yeah,
I
they
was
don't
like,
get outfits or anything.
what
The
what
only
was the
difference is
point of
that
that?
they got glitter now.
It's just like they did
I
this
don't
whole
know.
process of like the dogs going through this whole thing, and it's just slightly. Oh, Sparkles is sparkling,
Oh,
and Lily
wow.
is also sparkling.
I know. We have to watch them get on their hind legs and like twirl around. It's
It's
oh
gross and just
yeah.
completely
Oh,
unnecessary. Like you didn't even have
yeah.
to do that. Why did the dogs need to get sparkled?
They didn't. They really didn't. I didn't need to see that.
So the
Oh, the
dogs are
boys get a glow up too.
they do, but they're making fun of each other because they don't. I don't know. They look too prim and proper or something.
Yeah, they get like the prince treatment. And they're in identical fits. So now there's absolutely no way to tell them apart.
Yeah,
Because before they were wearing like their outfits were slightly different colors. So if you wanted to try to figure out who was who, you probably
you
could.
could.
I
Yeah,
didn't care enough to do that. But now they're in identical outfits, so there's no way to tell.
and of course their character is basically the same too. So
Yeah. Uh huh.
you know, that's great. And
Yeah.
they also like fuck off like partway. They're like walking up to the castle area, and they just like veer off to the side. And they're
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Oh,
What
this
are
is
they doing?
cool," and they never elaborate on what they were looking at.
Oh, what do you think they were looking at?
It seemed pretty empty in there.
Yeah. There's nothing going on.
Not sure. But this is when Lydia comes back, and she's just dispatched so quickly. They go up, they grab the instruments before she's able to like destroy them, and then they play the music, which pushes back Lydia's evil magic, and then destroys her again, and then she's gone.
Yeah, she gets turned to stone. That's
Oh,
how
that's right.
she doesn't. She
Yeah,
doesn't disappear this time.
she does get turned to stone.
And then the guys come in and they're like, "What the fuck? What happened in here?" And then they just kind of look at the stone statues. They're like, "Well,
I mean, you could also ask what happened here to this whole diamond castle appearing out of nowhere.
yeah,
That was also
that's
pretty
true."
weird, I guess. And then they rescue the
Mm.
two muses that had been stuck, petrified in Lydia's lair. And then Melody, she gets out of the mirror actually when they rise the castle. It's like she is succeeding Lydia's spot, but it makes it seem like there was only three muses, and so regardless of if Lydia turned evil or not, she would be replacing one of them. Is how I
Maybe
took
like
it,
when one of them died, she'd be the replacement.
I guess. And Lydia technically died, petrified.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I thought that was weird too. It's like she's this apprentice for what purpose?
Who
Like
are you
they
being the
kind of
apprentice for?
right. Did they know Lydia was going to turn evil?
Well, just one look at her and you should know.
Yeah, yeah. We know. We know what's up.
It's green.
Yeah. But the muses didn't seem to have any idea.
No, they were very surprised because they thought music was for everyone. Lydia did not.
No, just me.
Yeah, I'm the only one that deserves this.
Yeah. So the muses turn the Alexa and Liana, they give them crowns and they're princesses of music
I
now.
don't know if that has any bearing on anything that gives them any powers, or if it's just
No,
an
no.
honorary title.
Yeah, I don't
Like, are
think
they still
they.
poor? Because
Uh,
they get these seeds that they can go and regrow their flowers back. My question is, the house came back too. Did the seeds regrow their house?
oh, I didn't even
Because
think
I was
about
questioning, like,
that.
earlier when they're planting the seeds and they're like, oh, the flowers are coming back. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And I'm like, what are you going to do about the house? And then the ending shot before they go back to the real world is their cottage. Like, where did the cottage come from?
These seeds,
Did the
man, they're
seeds
so
regrow their
powerful.
cottage and the seeds knew what the cottage looked like? Like
These
exactly?
sentient
Did it
seeds.
regrow the bread and jam?
You mean jam and
Jam and
bread?
bread, sorry. Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess they're
Yeah, I
magical
think
seeds,
so.
but man, that is impressive if so.
Yeah, no kidding. Also, they like planted this little handful of seeds in the ground, and then an entire field of flowers grew, but not from the spot they planted the seeds. That
That's the only
was
spot
left
where it
bare.
doesn't grow.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Almost as
Why?
weird as seeds growing a whole house.
I mean, yeah, that is also weird. No, that's normal. That
Yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
normal seed behavior.
Mm-hmm.
That's normal
Well, and
stuff.
inside these flowers are diamonds.
Yeah, so they can just sell the diamonds and they'll never need money again.
Yeah, they're set for life.
I guess they don't.
Now,
The princesses of music doesn't really matter. It's just the diamond stuff, and now they can support themselves
yeah,
through
yeah.
storms or whatever.
They got endless supply of diamonds.
Before they
Um,
leave, it's just them and the dogs leaving in a carriage, and they're leaving like the two dudes there, and then
yeah, it's
one of them
great.
is
We
like,
love it.
"Oh, someone has to keep them out of trouble." They were saying that they were going to still be there, but then they go back to the house and they're not there. Like I thought that they were just going to put the two dudes there, be like, "Oh, we're here to keep you out of trouble or whatever," but they just
Uh-huh.
leave them at the castle. I'm like, "All right, sweet. I'm all about
Yeah,
that."
please leave
I'm
them
just
behind.
confused why you even had them say that.
There's a scene towards the end where Alexa and Liana are watching the guys play at the restaurant again, maybe out of pity.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um,
That's yeah.
yeah, they
It's a
like
little
throw
different.
their diamond flowers at them. Um, but yeah, they're not like living together or anything. It's the Alexa and Liana just go back to their cottagecore lifestyle, which is great.
Yeah.
I love that for them.
They
Like
can't go
fuck
back and
them
take Gerard's
boys.
house. They need their own. They need their own cottage back.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, they have more
Maybe
food than
Gerard can
just
come
normal.
visit.
Oh yeah, Gerard can buy the diamond flowers,
Yeah.
and now Stacy can have her friend again, the backstabber,
Hmm.
because of all of that whole story. And it's like, oh well, I wouldn't have wanted them to never, become friends again or lovers again. So
Yeah.
I gotta go and be friends with backstabber again.
Maybe I gotta go ask out Backstabber.
Whoa, yeah, gotta rethink my priorities here.
Yeah, the moral is basically that like best friends are forever.
Which is a good moral, and then that's how a lot of the songs played too.
Yeah.
This is a good one. I really like this one. What did you think upon another rewatch? But this time under
Yet
different
another.
context, I think.
Oh, I loved it. 10 out of 10. Such a good film. I love the main characters, their bond together, their dynamic. I love how they don't need a man. It's really refreshing. They kind of
No,
like reject them.
even though they're there,
Yeah, it sucks that they have to be there,
it sucks that they
but
have to be like kind of pieces of shit. Like you
yeah,
could have
like
just had
why?
these two dudes be like normal dudes, and they still don't get together, but at least they weren't like insufferable.
Yeah.
Just two normal dudes. But I am glad that they didn't really put it like heavy-handedly that they were together or something.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, I thought the songs were great. Song slap. Storyline is really fun, creative. It's yeah, like it's fun to see like a very original storyline with the Barbie movies instead of it just being based off of a fairy tale. Not that the fairy tale ones are
No.
bad. It's
Yeah,
just fun to see a totally different story.
and especially coming after. I mean, they've done original stuff before, but it was the fairy stuff, like
Yeah.
Fairytopia and all of the movies that came after it. So while it was original, it kind of started to feel samey after. I mean, since Mariposa is technically a Fairytopia movie, the fourth time that they were doing an original, and Barbie does a lot more original stuff as we go further along. They run out of
Hmm.
fairy tales or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of one of the early ones that is just a completely original story, and that is
Hmm.
refreshing because it feels new, something
Yeah,
that you haven't
it's
seen before.
fresh.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think that Barbie movies are at their best when you have two main characters who share the bond like that. I mean,
Yeah,
again, Mermaidia is kind of the same way.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I
I
loved about
think
Mermaidia too.
I think that's when they're at their strongest is when you have those two characters, and it comes up later in other movies as well. Some of my other favorite ones is when you've got like two characters and that bond there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when they're at their best. And I also just
Yeah.
really like the world. I like their cottage living there. I think the village is fun. Lydia is a little bit too similar to Laverna,
Yeah.
considering it's the same voice actor again.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just different enough. Um, Slider is disgusting, but
Yeah. As are the dogs.
there's something comforting in the nastiness that is Slider. Like there's something about the gross animal villain that it's like okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get behind it.
I hate it,
I'm
but
entertained.
you know, yeah, it's something different, something new to
You
add.
know, you love to hate it.
Yeah, that is a good way to put it. Yeah, I think I would know your ranking for this one.
Yeah,
Did you slap it at the top there?
I sure did.
S rank. I can agree with that. I think
Yeah.
even its weak points can be are brought up by its strengths, by the bond between the two characters, by the world, by the songs, by the original story. I think that can pull up the the samey villain and the annoying dudes and the animals. But it's so hard to win with the animal sidekicks no matter what you do. They're always some sort of shade of kind of gross.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
What did you give for Lydia?
I she was kind of samey, but I liked her overpowered
Her infinite
flute.
power.
Yeah, yeah, she was pretty brutal, just like hypnotizing everybody and like trying to murder people. Um,
Yeah, I had settled on a
yeah,
on a C for her,
that's
because I
fair.
I felt that she was a little bit too similar to Laverna for me to like really get behind it, but she was definitely better than Laverna was at the end. So I
Yeah,
kind of gave her a middle of the road
yeah, I gave her a
ranking.
B, but I could definitely do a C.
How about the dogs? Did you give them an
I
F?
gave
I
them.
I gave them a D because they didn't talk.
Oh, that's a good point. I did give them an F,
They're
but I
disgusting.
could.
They're really gross. But
Yeah.
when I think about it, and I think about Bibble, and I think about Tika,
Mm,
and I think about how insufferable they are when they talk, and they've got their own whole thing going on, it's super annoying, and I hate it. These dogs. The worst part about them is that they dance, and they're also kind of gross
yeah.
looking. But the worst part is definitely that they dance, and it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
it's really annoying. But they don't actually like talk or like have their own storyline that's really weird, or like there's no weird romance with them or
Oh, thank God. I could not
anything like
handle a
that.
romance with those dogs.
So I gave him D for dog.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. If they had talked, it would have been so much worse.
Yes, would
So
have
that was
instant
a
F if they
real
talked.
mercy.
Yeah, gotta count
All
your
right.
blessings that they didn't
Yeah.
talk. Because we'll
Yeah.
get back to the talking animal sidekicks here soon enough. They'll make a return.
Oh no.
Who was your
No, thank
tag?
you. Oh, well, I have to talk about the outtakes because my
Okay,
tag was
yes.
in the
Oh, your
outtakes.
tag's in the outtakes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I know. Non-traditional tag, but so I'll just go over some of the outtakes. We get more of the puppies dancing because we definitely needed more of that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it the first like 3 times that they did it. I needed more.
Hmm.
It's really funny. I'm
It's
glad they
so
put it in
funny
there.
when they dance. Yeah, hilarious. But they're like breakdancing in one of the outtakes.
Ugh.
Yeah, gross. So yeah, in one of the scenes, the outtakes where the dogs are dancing, the troll is there, and the troll is in the background, and he's dancing too, and
Oh,
he's trying to do some like,
is it like Swan Lake level?
yeah, it's giving Erasmus for sure.
Erasmus.
Yeah, he's like in the background trying to do ballet, and I just really related to him. My tag is Wilhelm the troll.
Wilhelm the troll from the bloopers specifically.
From the bloopers, trying to do ballet in the background.
Very specific.
Yeah, very a little niche. But I just really like felt him in that moment.
It's a good tag.
Thank you.
Any other standout bloopers for you?
Oh yeah, one of the dogs rips Alexa's dress off. That was
Wait,
wild.
off.
Yeah, you see her in her like bloomers,
Oh
her
god. Oh
underwear.
god. They allowed
Yeah,
that?
yep, they went
Wow.
for it. They're like, yeah, this is a great idea.
let's do this.
Uh
Dog dancing, Wilhelm dancing, rip clothes off. It's all the
huh. One
bloopers.
of these isn't like the others. These dogs are menaces.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Is that dog?
those were probably the best bloopers. There were some just random ones like Alexa falling in a river and
Gotta have the
Pegasus.
standard ones.
Yeah, Pegasus was sneezing because there was a lot of glitter.
Don't blame them. Glitter everywhere. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
and
they
then
don't
just more.
sneeze when they get glittered up. There's so
Yeah,
much glitter.
there's so much glitter.
Yeah.
And then the dogs dance again. Dogs like dance 3 times in the outtakes.
Man, gotta love it.
Yep. Yeah.
Every time it just gets
So,
funnier. I laugh a little
yep.
bit harder every time.
Yeah, exactly.
So my tag was, I guess it could be for both of them because they both got hungry, but Alexa specifically was always talking about being hungry, and you
Mhm.
know, I do get pretty hungry from time to time. I will say, if I had the opportunity to eat and didn't eat, I would shut my mouth and not
You wouldn't
continue to
keep
complain.
complaining?
But
Wow.
I do feel the pain of the hunger from time to time. It is it's rough. Sometimes you can't
Yeah,
think
you
straight.
feel the hanger.
But I start to diverge from Alexa when they get that huge plate of food. I would have immediately started eating. Those two dudes come up
Oh
to me and
yeah.
start talking, I would not even like entertain the thought. Even if they were normal people, I'm just like, sorry, I'm eating. Like,
Yeah, gotta give me a sec.
come back in a minute when I finish my plate. I got more important things to do here.
Oh yeah, same.
Like,
I would not even give them the time of day.
literally on death's door. I was dying out there.
I'm starving. Let me eat.
No, I got to get hit on first, obviously.
Yeah. That's more important.
So that is Barbie and the Diamond Castle. It is just the second movie to be given an S on the Barbie Council rating scale.
Wow. Wait, what was our other one?
Princess and the Pauper, of course.
Oh, well,
Preminger had to get an S rank.
yeah. Preminger
No
is
matter
S
what,
tier.
even if the rest of the movie was bad, if Preminger was in there being Preminger, I can't.
Yeah,
How could I refuse?
you're so right. How can you refuse? You can't.
Yeah, just the second S rank on the 18th episode.
Wow, it's hard to get an S rank.
Yeah, it's the council. You know, we're the final say on this. It's not easy.
No, it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah,
We take this job really seriously.
we do enough to bring you the news about the Barbie DVD cover controversy that we just created.
Controversy. Now you can all join in the controversy.
Yes. Let us know what new categories you would create for for new Barbie movies. Would you be making a spy category? Horses? I think horses is pretty obvious.
Or the Cali collection.
Cali, New York collection. The Barbie collection, but it's not Barbie, it's Barbie from New York.
Oh my god.
They have Barbie in
Malibu
the top, and then
Barbie?
it just says Barbie on the other one.
Huh.
There's so many options. We should be the ones to be doing that.
Yeah,
We should.
really, really.
We
Hire
can take
us.
more responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So that wraps up this month's episode with the Diamond Castle. On next month's episode, we're going to be diving into a movie from the holiday collection, as the DVDs call it.
Ooh.
This one being Barbie in A Christmas Carol. So we're kind of going back to the non-original stories with this one. But this is the first of several holiday movies that we'll be getting to. I guess Nutcracker does count
No,
as a holiday movie, but I guess it's not
that's
as
how it's categorized.
in your face as this one or Perfect Christmas. Those ones are very Christmas.
Yeah, like
Um,
this is a Christmas movie.
and as we all know, Nutcracker is not a classic.
No.
It's a holiday movie.
Yeah.
Do not get it mixed up.
No.
I could not understand why you would ever get them mixed up. I think it's pretty
Right.
obvious.
The first Barbie movie is not a classic.
It's not. It's just a holiday film. It's just an old holiday film. Just like how the Diamond Castle is not a music film, it's a princess film, and they're not princesses until the very end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally makes sense.
It's all very obvious stuff. So that will wrap up this month's episode of the Barbie Council. New episodes release on the first day of every single month. You can find the audio version of the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you get your podcasts. Make sure to follow us on your service of choice so you never miss out on a new episode. We're also on YouTube at the Barbie Council. There you can watch the video version of the podcast launching alongside the audio version each and every month. So subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can be notified of each episode. And Spotify also has the video version of the podcast if that's something that you want to check out.
If you want to follow our podcast on social media, we're at Barbie Council on Instagram. Our email is thebarbieCouncil@gmail.com.
So that wraps up this month's meeting of the Barbie Council. Until next month, meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.